What up,
Hey.
YouTube?
Thanks for joining us, motherfucker.
Thanks for joining us. Today we are talking about everything 80s. You have Indo Joe here, 710, INDOJOE 710, Chef Tanya Nicole. Please like, subscribe, join, hit the bell so you can get all our notifications, especially when we go live.
The biggity bell.
Absolutely. Again, we're talking about all things 80s. If you joined us last time, you enjoyed our dating podcast, 90s podcast. Then we did the last dance.
Yo, the podcast can start now, kid.
Oh, the official Myster DL in the house, joining us live. Thank you, everybody, for joining us every time. It's been a success. We really appreciate you guys. We'll start hitting you guys up in the chat in a minute. But like I said, we're going to discuss everything 80s. Some of us enjoyed the entire decade. Some of us half of it.
I was born in '80, so I was there for the whole time.
Yeah, but what do
I'm an
you
80s dude,
remember?
swear.
What do you remember?
What do I remember?
We'll get into
We're
it.
gonna get into it, but right now they're hosting the show and I'm getting all the social media shit ready. So
I'm rolling a jibby jabber.
So, like I said, everything 80s for me. I grew up in the 80s. Everything from
Fashion
breakdancing.
sucks. Can I just say that before we start?
The fashion did not suck. All right.
It's terrible, dude.
I would say the 80s. It's like one of those decades where you have a clear picture of like what the fashion was. I can say a couple icons and you'll be like, yes.
There's memes about it. You know, the meme people that you know they get their doctorate from memes. But I'm gonna drop a meme right now. The one that shows the kids from the 80s and the haircuts and the what they look like. Parents didn't give a shit what the kids look like. They just dressed them. You know what I mean? Nowadays, kids are models in school. You know what I mean? Like a big difference. The 80s, man, it was terrible, dude.
Yeah.
I talked about it last time with the 90s because my fashion from the 80s drove into the 90s until I could dress myself.
Yeah.
I had them high shorts, them Larry Bird basketball shorts.
all right, check this out. If you're watching on Facebook, perfect. That's awesome. We love you. But the real link is on YouTube. You can't see the whole show. We have a screen here. We might have a celebrity guest call in. You will not be able to see him unless you are watching on YouTube. So I'm going to put in the link in the chat. Shout out to my bro Garth Vader in the chat. That's awesome.
Okay.
Shout out to Navigator. Shout out to Kai. What's up, guys? Shout out to Brian. We're getting ready to go.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. I'm very fond of the 80s. I think.
I guess
we were
80 parties are fun, I guess.
Yeah, and like the fashion is like so distinct.
Parties.
So distinct. Like if you went
well,
somewhere.
You go from the 70s to the 80s. You think of the 70s, you think of bell bottoms, tie-dye shirts, some the rope tie shirts, you know what I mean? Like, and then from to the 80s, you go from like mohawks, you know what I mean? Ripped jeans, fucking leg warmers.
Well, the thing with the 80s is like there were a lot of different styles, but they were very pronounced styles. So,
how do you pronounce
icon, Madonna, okay, with the different earrings, right? You had to have the black shirt that was ripped. You had to have the fishnets. You had to have mad bangles, especially those really, really thin black ones. It was like basically the same exact bangle, it's just black.
The Cincinnati bangle?
No. Growing up in the Bronx, like you walk 2 blocks to the square. That's where we shopped, and then you had everybody had their little kiosks. Like all the hustlers out, get your jelly shoes. If you don't remember what jelly shoes were, they're literally the name is the description. It was made out of.
I grew up alone.
Yeah, like plastic.
Latinos growing up around
here. Hot pink, blue, all these colors right here. And if you were real cool, you had the clear jelly. Like you would have shit with the clear jellies and the little sparkles on the inside.
Terrible.
But it's so terrible. It's coming back.
Like spandex, they had tons of spandex.
Oh, y'all men were not hating the spandex.
Oh no, of course not.
That was like the beginning of the leggings.
They didn't have exactly. They didn't have the butts.
80s butt. 80s butt was not cute.
They didn't care. They wanted thin butts.
Yeah.
Shout out to Revolution in the chat. Shout out to Machete in the chat. Shout out to everybody.
What up?
Make sure if you're watching on Facebook, please go to YouTube. I have supplied the link in the chat. You can't even see over here.
You can't even see up there.
Oh, I was
So
pointing
go
and
to
you can't
YouTube,
see.
please. If you're gonna stay on Facebook, that's fine. But if you really want the true experience, please go to
The
YouTube.
true experience. It's like when you
Like-
upgrade.
Like think of the hair though. Like the dudes used to rock. We used to rock the rat tails. Remember that? Used to have
The
that.
mohawks were in.
With the lines.
The
on
lines,
side
the
of it.
mullets were in
Yeah,
during the
mullets.
80s.
Oh,
And big
terrible.
hair. And unfortunately for me, I got super thin, small hair. Ain't no amount of hairspray or Aquanet. Aquanet was a shit in the
Aquanet,
80s.
yeah.
Like you would literally go get yourself a bottle of, well,
Cut off sleeves too. Like no. Like remember, I didn't do it, but the dudes used to take sweatshirts and cut the sleeves and cut the stomach off to show their fucking abs. It was like, oh,
yeah.
Jesus, bro.
Well, exercising was really big in the
Yeah,
80s.
for real, yeah.
And wearing
Yeah, yeah.
exercise clothing. Like I remember Olivia Newton-John, my jam. Let's get physical, physical. I wanna get physical. That's when records were still hot. I had a record player, a 45. If y'all don't know what a 45 is, it's a little record.
I thought it
A
was a piece.
little record.
Say there, piece.
Nah. And then you would just put the record on the record player and you'd have to put a little weight on it.
Yeah, the little
So that it
circle
would,
disc.
so it wouldn't
Yeah.
skip, so the needle wouldn't skip.
Yeah, I know.
And I would be jamming, and you had like one song on one side if it was a single,
It was single most
and
of the
then
time,
you flip
yeah.
the record. And let me tell you, I don't know what was on the other side of Let's Get Physical. I
You just kept
killed,
repeating
I
that
just
shit,
killed
yeah.
that. I was like, what? I wasn't even that old, like maybe 8. I think it came out maybe, I'm gonna say mid 80s, like 85, 84. And remember, like, women would walk around with their exercise clothes, so they
Yep.
have the leg warmers
That
and the
fucking,
spandex
yeah,
show,
spandex.
and then the thong leotard. That was the
I
beginning
was
of
gonna
the
say, that
thong.
shit was hot though, dude. I remember being a little kid going, I don't know why I love this, but I know I love
I
this.
love it.
This is amazing right now.
And
dude.
the
You know
great
what I
thing
mean?
is, like, you could put on like every color, like I have on today,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
purple, like
I
hot
remember
pink.
watching MTV. What they had like, they would like it was like maybe that was more in the '90s, but the summer thing.
Oh, like the spring break
Yeah,
or whatever. Yeah, I don't know
I
when
don't
the
know if
beach
that was
house started.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure.
'Cause
I
that shit was like I remember fucking seeing so many thong butts and being like, oh, I'm never leaving this house.
but yeah, MTV started. Those were like, that's when
MTV started.
the new
All right,
network
we're jumping
started.
all over the place.
Yeah, we are. But you know, that's how we start. We just start and then we focus.
Well, we were in fashion, and the only reason I jumped to MTV was because
That's where you saw the thing.
yeah, so that's what I thought. We were still in fashion.
Exactly. But what else? Oh, denim wash jeans.
Ripped jeans, like here, the right here. I remember the more
Stonewashed.
the more ripped your jeans were right here, the cooler you
The
were.
cooler you were.
Yeah, yeah. I'd always like deliberately fall on my knees to rip my jeans, and my mom would get so mad. Try to sew them and shit. I had to go to school with patches on my knees, looking like a retard.
Yeah,
Again, like I said, parents didn't care what you look like. You know what I mean?
I went to Catholic school, so I have to wear a uniform. But
Shout out
especially-
to Kai Understanding. Shout out
My
to Santana. Shout out to Marciel, Navigator. Everyone's talking about the acid wash jeans. I guess that's
acid
the
wash,
time.
stone
yeah,
wash.
that's
That's right.
Kai said Saturday morning cartoons. Don't worry, we're getting there.
We'll get
Oh,
there.
so many things to talk about. So many things.
Ooh, what is that?
Ah.
Yeah, wait, what's it?
No, it was strong. So if you're watching on Facebook, please go to YouTube. We're gonna get into this. What did we decide we're gonna go with first?
That was your
We're
fashion.
talking fashion. We're just talking
Oh,
about
so we're
fashion.
going with fashion.
Accessories. Girls used to rock
I
headbands.
sent you a whole bunch of
scrunchies.
fashion.
Oh,
I
no.
sent you.
Don't-
Shout out to Coco Jambo.
Don't yell at me
Shout
about
out
it
to
this time.
Revolution. Shout out to Nah Bitches back. Shout out Nah Bitch. Shout out to Dramatic. That's what's up. If you are watching on YouTube, you're watching in the right place. This is the Mind Your Manners podcast. I sent you a whole bunch of pictures in
I
your
only
Google
got
Chrome.
4.
Nah, I sent you a whole bunch of pictures.
All right, let me check. Ooh, let's check on that access.
All right, so fashion.
Nicole.
Yeah. Spiked haircuts.
Yeah. See, I had terrible hair. I still do. I have really thin hair. I've always had thin hair. I have like the hair like a Chinese man.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about?
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan.
The blonde hair of a Chinese man.
let's start with
I had
this picture.
super thin hair when I was a kid.
Check out me in the 80s.
Uh-oh.
Wait for it.
You gotta wait for it.
Wait for
Damn, I
it.
didn't know you were a fish in the 80s.
Yeah, it was Nemo's dad.
Holy fuck.
So that's that hardcore shit right there.
Oh.
Now that is the
See,
album
that's
cover.
the dope background, though. I could never convince my mom to give me that background.
That
I always had the lasers.
that is an album cover right there if I ever saw one. That
This
is
the
that hard
Presents.
shit.
That should be your Presents album. All features.
Oh,
the dopest features you got when you finally release your Be Real feature.
Oh yeah.
This is
It's
the
on that
first
album.
one. This is the
Dramatic
first
says
one.
the Caesar haircut was popular. Now that's that gangster shit.
That's that bowl cut.
Hell yeah.
That's that bowl cut.
So we got some more computers today, so we can run this a little more smooth. Let us know in the chat where you're watching from. Let us know in the chat what flavor you're smoking on.
Here we go. I know, but this is a good indication of like 80s style right here.
Right there.
Okay? Literally,
That's what I'm saying.
the
That's
crayon. Like
terrible, dude.
any color that you had, just you could rock it. You could rock it.
Although I tell you right now, if I had a 15-year-old daughter, I'd rather have her wearing that than what they're wearing right
Well,
now.
that's true.
Yeah,
They're
that's true.
very covered up in the
I
80s.
say you cannot see a figure right there.
Exactly.
And like nowadays, you're like, I don't know if that girl's 15 or 25, but I'm not gonna look. 'Cause I am not getting in trouble for that shit.
Oh
dude.
my God.
And then she comes up and goes, "Hey, I'm 35," and you're like, "All right, I'm not."
What about this? This is what we talk. Look at the
Oh.
style. Look at the style. I don't know what was going on here with these
That's a
band
dude
shorts.
on the left though.
What
in the
is
red.
that?
That's the dude in the McDonald's colors?
Yeah, yeah. See, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Those are the shorts I had. I had them socks, but they were up to my knees.
I'm thinking Richard Simmons had to be around 80s
Yeah,
era,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
That
yeah.
he came out. All right, everybody, we're gonna
Oh,
exercise.
he's gay. He came out.
Shout out to Myart.
I don't know if he's gay, but
He
that's
says
the
gay.
type
He
of voice
says
he has.
in the chat, Myart says that wasn't the style in the hood. I don't know, man.
I don't know. Like
Look
in
up
the
some
Bronx
hood-
when
hood-
it came to work
yeah,
out
yeah.
here, that's
Go
what
look
girls
at-
were rocking.
Yeah. Grandmaster Flash looked dope with them. No, that tight leather.
Listen, Flashdance came out, and everybody's trying to be
those
hot
are-
like
yeah.
her.
So in the chat, we got some people smoking on Purple Chem Dog, which sounds pretty good.
It sounds like my favorite weed and my favorite kind of next level. Like weed and chemicals.
I like weed.
I like weed.
What's your
Purple
favorite
Chem
flavor?
Dog.
So are we done? We're not done with fashion. What are we doing now?
No.
Oh no!
I
was
had the
just
spike
scrolling.
haircut. I remember when I was 8 years old, I gave myself a spike by myself with my own scissors, and it was terrible.
He said with his own.
And I wish we had a photo of it, but,
Yeah.
but we don't. But we do have this photo.
See, like when I was
We do have this photo, which is kind of like, believe it or not, that it is a spike there.
yeah.
I just don't have any gel in my hair.
yeah.
That gel, y'all know about the gel.
The LA
With-
gear or whatever.
With
the
girls,
fuck
it was
right?
more like this part here was like
LA something,
up,
right? The gel. I
and
don't
then
know.
it
I
just
know
went
that.
down.
Yeah.
it would be like up like this, and then they would just like
See, like
Poop it out.
my pop can protest to this. Like he didn't want to take me to the barber one time when he had me on the weekend, so he shaved our heads. My brother was bullshit. I loved it. I was like, what? I ain't gotta go to the.
I don't have to go to the barber
Oh
anymore.
man, my mom was bullshit because like we had long hair at the time, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I hated having hair always. And now I'm an adult and I'm like, hair.
Let me tell you, I
But I gotta
literally.
say, okay, white man's hair sucks. You know what I mean? Like, I guess you can grow it long, but it's terrible. You know, put in a fucking man bun, dude. I
Unless
would
you got
rather
a
have a
little
black
curl.
guy's hair. I'm sorry. I don't know if that's racist, but I'm saying I'd rather have black guys.
Mind your manners, mind your
Oh,
manners.
yeah.
I don't think that's
You know,
racist
you
to
got the
say you
coolest-
would like
You got
somebody
the
else's
coolest
kind of
fucking
hair.
haircut you could possibly think of. Dude.
I would love to have some
And all they
wavy
do
hair.
is keep doing
What were
new
you trying to say?
trends.
Oh, I was gonna say
You know what I
like
mean?
I would
All
love
I
to have
wanted to
some
do was
wavy
shave
hair.
Michael Jordan's hair in the back of my head.
Yeah, no, I was saying like for girls, like the trend was like if you were lucky, you were able to make your hair big. But my
Yeah,
hair
yeah.
was like dead straight. So my mom legit, she wasn't trying to do my hair.
Yeah,
I literally had a bowl cut. Like my mom took a bowl, put it on my head, and then cut it all
Cut your
around.
bangs.
And let me tell you, you little bitches are getting your ears pierced with a gun. Old school way. I literally remember, I must have been like 8, so it was
I was
1983,
like 10.
84. And an ice cube and a needle. Heat the needle up.
See, I did.
My mom's friend did it.
Me and my homie did it. I just took a pin, you know, and fucking bit the bullet and pushed it through, and I hid it from my mom for like a week, and finally she saw it. She goes, "You pierced your ear?" I go, "Yeah, I didn't want to show you." And she goes, "Oh, you idiot! I would have took you to get it done if you really wanted to get it done." And then she's like, "Did you at least put ice and numb it?" And I go, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, I didn't feel
even
a thing.
think of that. I just pushed
Honestly, I
that
was
shit
more
through,
scared
you
of
know
the
what I mean?
needle,
So
but
I got one that's crooked.
that's how we all got our ears pierced in the 80s. Like all my girls from the block, it was like my mom's friend, and she was just like, numb your
Shout out. We got some shout outs. Shout out to Sun B. Shout out to John Brady. Shout out to Aunt Montana, Alan, Adam Robert,
Brady.
Melissa. What's up? You are watching the Mind Your Manners podcast. If you're watching on Facebook, please go to YouTube. Shout out to Chad Sawyer. The link, I just posted it in the bio. That's the real link, so you can see the whole show. Back to what you were saying.
The whole show. Oh, nothing. I was just saying, like, for a haircut, I mean, unless you had a mom that, like, could, like, do your hair.
Yeah.
I did not.
We went to
Scrunchies.
Supercuts. No joke. We went to Supercuts. That's all I
Yeah, no, I wish I went to
You know what I mean?
Supercuts. We ain't got no money for Supercuts. I don't think Supercuts was around when I was.
That was cheap shit.
Supercuts came around, I don't know, in the 90s. It might have been before the 90s, but popularized in the 90s.
Yeah, because ain't no Supercuts in the Bronx. I'll let you know.
Listen,
There was
just
Maria in apartment 2B.
Neon in general, though. Just everything.
Everything neon and crazy ass patterns. The crazier, the better.
I sent a picture in here. How do I do this? It's like, it says, no, not this one. Here's some of the fashion ones. Come on, man.
Oh my God.
Like just show all those photos.
First of all,
if you watch it on Facebook, you can't see it, but I did
you can't see it.
I did give you the link in the
I told you they literally would spray their hair with Aquanet, and then wherever it stayed, that's where they left it. So they sprayed it. The blow dryer, both ways. You gotta blow it out both sides. Oh, you gotta blow it out both sides, okay? And then wherever it laid, that's where they left it. They were like, okay, bet.
My aunt went to high school and we used to stay at my grandmother's.
Oh, look at this outfit.
Her doing it.
She did your hair?
No, her hair.
Her own hair.
Yeah.
Look at these outfits.
Look at these outfits. That brings me so back.
Yep.
Those jeans are like exactly.
Because that's the age I was when that was.
Exactly.
Shout out to Anthony Ducharme.
I love how there's a hula hoop in the picture. I love this one because literally, like I said, it's
those pants. I had some of those pants. Oh my God, those disgusting pants.
Yeah. Those are like
80s had the worst fashion. I'm sorry.
See, I told you.
It's like diaper butt.
I jumped this conversation off.
Diaper butt.
That's what. No, just I hated like how tight they were at the bottom of your ankles. They always left marks. Man.
Shout out to JK in
like
the chat.
5 years old.
But these were the fashions. It was like you were preppy, you were businesslike. You know what I'm saying?
Look at how terrible that is.
Got some more chats going on the YouTube here, but I can't seem to open it.
What's up, YouTube?
For some reason.
Shout out to Grow.420.
Shout out to GTG TV, our sponsor from 2 weeks back. Shout out to James Tussle. He said fat dabs. He's smoking fat dabs of Hollywood Pure Kush, Skittles, and Moonbow. Shit's bomb. GTG TV says he was born in 1988, so the 80s is old people stuff.
You're still born.
We may be old, but we fine.
You're still from there, no matter what you say. He says swishy pants.
Yes, those are like those running pants, those jogging pants, but they were like super cheap. Like where they wear on Sopranos.
Lyart says, remember LL Cool J was out in the 80s. Of course I remember LL Cool J was out in the 80s. That's why I have an LL Cool J record
from the 80s.
From the 80s. In the background.
In the background.
We'll get it in, bro. Hello, else is all week. We got some Indo Joe is the art goat. As you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see all this art up here and over there. I'm not sure if you can see it on Facebook. But if you're only going to stay on Facebook, that's fine. But the real show is on YouTube. Shout out to Josh. Shout out to Chris. Shout out to Mike Cody. Yep, it's 7:30 already. Don't worry, you can rewind this. You can watch it again. It don't matter.
Rewind.
It's 7:30 somewhere.
Let's do this picture.
So there's me and Joe.
OMG.
There's me and Joe. Just zoom in on me and Joe so they can tell which ones are us.
Please hold.
Nice. Anthony Ducharme in the chat says he's smoking that Bobby Brown brick good. That sounds very
That sounds like it's from the 80s.
Sounds like Oh, I kicked over the weed. Kicked over the dime bag.
Holy shit, man. Look at how high my pants are.
Look at his waist.
It's like this big.
Ladies dream of this. Ladies dream of this way.
His waist is so fucking small.
I look like an out of work magician.
Look at that. I love it.
Right?
I love it.
Shout out to Raphael.
I'm just missing
what
the top.
is up
I'm
with
missing
that
the top
forehead,
hat. And...
Myster DL?
Huh?
Like, what is up with that forehead? Your spike is so high, it's back.
What do you mean? That's what I had to
see. Look, I got like the dark Hulk Hogan hair there. Look how thin it is. Terrible. Man.
Let's see Joe and let's see Hulk Hogan. I know we got a picture there.
I had Hulk Hogan as a kid.
Fat gold chains. That's something coming in through the chat.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, but come on, man. I was a kid. I ain't rocking no gold chain.
The fat gold chain. Even the Panthers rocked fat gold chains back in the day.
Facts.
All right, so fashion. What else we got for fashion? I know we're missing something.
Oh, scrunchies.
Well,
You can't
it's
forget about
kind of fashion.
scrunchies.
The big Reebok Nike war was in the 80s. That was fashion.
Yeah.
And Nike killed them with the Jordans.
No, they killed him with Bo Jackson, then they killed him with the
Yeah, because
but
I think
that
they
wasn't
solidified
it.
Yeah, I think late 80s is when
it was
they
like
got.
85, 86.
Yeah, when they started the
Because
fire.
85 was the first year for the Jordan.
Yeah, I think Adidas
And then that's
was
when
probably.
like 86 they were like Reebok was like, we're fine.
Yeah.
Shout out to John Anderson in the chat. Shout out to Brian Whiteman. What's up, everybody?
Hola, hola. ¿Qué pasa?
We are here. If you're watching on Facebook, please join us on YouTube. You can stay if you want, but you're missing like all the extra shit onto
You
the
know
side.
what? The other thing, and maybe this is. Remember when we were on the last dance we were making for the Phil Jackson?
Mm-hmm.
Shoulder pads were
Shoulder pads were
huge
huge,
in the 80s.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Like it was like if
I
you
remember
had
shoulder
pads, if you had huge shoulder pads, it's like, oh, you made it.
I
Like
remember using one of my mom's black jackets to be Darth
you're like
Vader.
walking around like
Because
this.
of how big it was. I just put it over my shoulders and left the arms out. I thought it was Darth Vader.
Literally, you were
Because
walking around like.
it was like that. Yeah, it was like square.
I swear, like the bigger your shoulder pads, is like the more money you had, the more clout.
Oh. We got some coming in ponies and kangaroos. I remember them.
Oh, kangaroos! I remember the ponies. Were those the ones that look like Ken?
He said in the chat. He said kangaroos had the zipper on the tongue.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to find this on the interweb. Please hold, because I
have. What are they called? It was the tiger.
The eye of the tiger?
No, the little tiger on the shirt.
Lacoste before it was expensive?
Yeah, maybe.
That was an alligator, wasn't it?
What
Yeah, but I know there was a tiger too.
Salt and pepper hairdo coming into the chat. The 80s style just didn't last. It just.
I'll tell you what, the 80s entertainment was way better than the style.
Yeah, for sure.
That's 100% idea.
This is like
pro kids coming through the chat.
I'll say some of the shoes from the 80s were dope. I'll give them that.
I think that's when they
there
first
was
started.
some dope sneakers in the 80s.
You said pro kid? I'm gonna look up pro kid.
It just, oh man, I don't know. It just.
Shout out to Jeff.
Oh, okay. See, you say it, and then I'm like, oh, it all comes to life, like what that is.
I never had those.
Yeah, I never had these either. They were like.
I never had any expensive anything. Nothing.
Wherever you got it, Caldor or Ames.
Yeah, I can't remember. I'm trying to think.
Caldor.
I went to Catholic school, so we had them ugly ass like black freaking shoes. Yeah. We had little cute knee highs, but plaid. We were ready for the 90s, but not the 80s.
Yeah, it wasn't until the 90s where I could have picked my clothes.
I think in the 80s y'all were rocking high socks too,
80s
right?
fashion was so terrible. I think we should move on from it.
Moving on.
That's how bad fucking the fashion was now.
So what do you want? Pick a topic.
Let's go with
It's like Jeopardy.
Sports, music, TV, toys.
Let's go with toys.
Oh boy.
Let's have her start because the girls have the less toys. So let you start with the toys.
What you talking about? I can play with the girl toys and the boy toys. I had all the toys. I play with all the toys.
Him and I are gonna have a lot of the same.
Number one that I can remember. Cabbage Patch Kids.
I had one.
Cabbage Patch Kids. I remember that was like to tickle the elbow.
Everybody had to have.
It was like you had to go online.
I remember getting in trouble for throwing away the birth certificate thing.
What?
Nathan in the chat says Big Wheels. That's a good one.
That's on the list. I was waiting for
very
to rock one up.
Cabbage
that was my
Patch
jam.
Kids and Garbage Pail Kids cards. Shit is bomb.
Yep, like Sweaty Betty and all those.
Oh my god. Go ahead. I already said my one.
That's all you said is one thing?
No, everybody gets a turn. Everybody gets a turn.
Dude, I got a list, man.
Oh, I got a list. I got Hungry Hippos.
Boom.
Me and my cousin, we would kill each other
I sent you a photo.
Because we got mad kids in the family, mad cousins. And I just wanted to play Hungry Hippos. So this is like the new version of Hungry Hippos.
We saw this today at the store.
And I was like, that was too eloquent.
It's still the same thing though. Now that I'm looking at it.
Absolutely.
It's just a little more.
It seemed farther back as a kid.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Hungry Hippos was that shit though.
It was great for kids with ADHD, and also because if you had any anger issues, you would
shout out to Machete. We didn't block you. We see. Go ahead.
You would just slam the shit out of the hippo.
Yeah.
You're just like getting all your anger out.
Did you see that picture of me as a kid? Yeah, I was small kids. So yeah, I was the one not
I
getting
can't
it.
type. I can't type.
So board games. Let me say, when I'm talking about board games, Candyland was my joint.
Okay, this is like the original right here. Go ahead, Candyland.
Candyland.
Shoots and ladders.
Shoots and Ladders I never played, but I know about it obviously.
My Ho Cheerio.
I know about that one.
Oh,
Connect Four I like.
oh yeah. Was Twister the 80s?
Yeah. Everything. If it was a board game, it was the 80s.
It started as a kid's game and then upgraded to an adult game. Although I always feel like whoever invented that game was kind of like a pedophile.
Jeffrey Farley says Fireball Island. I don't know that.
Why would you? Let's look it up.
There's some other board games that I like playing. Candyland was my absolute shit though. That was my favorite game.
Getting stuck in the chocolate forest or whatever it was.
Candyland was the shit, man.
Hated that shit.
Monopoly was cool. Like, you know,
Monopoly came out like the 50s or some shit.
still the 80s though. I still
Oh,
played it.
this looks like an Indiana Jones type.
Shirts
thing.
came out in the 80s. I mean, shirts came out before the 80s.
Yeah, I hope so.
We're still
This
talking about
looks
that.
dope.
Mousetrap was one that's coming in the chat.
Mousetrap was
that
another
might have
one
been
that
that
me and my cousins will fight over.
I want to say
That Fireball
Mousetrap,
Island
yeah.
looks dope. It looks
Chris-
like an Indiana Jones. type
Chris
thing.
Houston in the chat. I know we moved on from it, but he's talking about British Knights and LA gear. So I rocked the
said
British
like
Knights.
year. I didn't.
No, you said
I
for
thought-
Hairspray, I think.
Yeah. I knew it was something.
It was, you know, you're right. The Hairspray was LA something.
Yeah.
Mousetrap's a game coming in. Shout out to Bianca Reyes.
I got some
What
toys. Not board games.
Well, let us
Yeah,
know.
I got. All right. I had a Care Bear. I ain't gonna front.
Care
I had
Bears.
a glowworm. No glowworm.
I had a glowworm.
I had a blue one.
I had a glowworm. for
Strawberry
sure.
shortcake.
I had micro machines.
Micro
I had
machines.
The pogo balls. We were talking about those the
Yeah.
other day. Pogo balls. Obviously, like action figures, man. I mean, I had He-Man. I had Star Wars. I had GI Joes. I had Transformers.
I had
You know what I
8-inch
mean?
wrestlers, the rubber wrestlers.
I had She-Ra. I had
had
He-Man.
Transformers, you know what I
G.I.
mean?
Joe.
Like so
Star
many,
Wars.
Indiana Jones.
Mask.
Figures, you know.
Toys. What?
I had so many
Micro
action
machines.
figures. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a Light Bright. I had a Light Bright. Etch a Sketch was my shit as a kid. You know what I mean? I could draw boobs and then shake them out when no one was looking.
Chris Houston in the chat says he had Teddy Ruxpin and used to throw his Bismarck E-tape in it.
Nice. My buddy, remember my buddy?
Atari came out.
Rock and
Nintendo.
Sock'em Robot. That was a good
Jeff
one.
Farley in the chat. Mousetrap took 45 minutes to set up and 10 minutes to play.
For real. For real. Simon Says was that Simon.
Oh
that
yeah,
game came out in the
yeah.
80s.
Dramatic, talking about Transformers,
Yeah, that's what I said.
Thundercats.
Thundercats.
Little
Teddy
Po-
Ruxpin
My
again.
Little Pony.
a Rubik's Cube came out in
Strawberry
the 80s.
Shortcake Gem.
Fucking Rubik's Cube. That's still popular.
Truly,
You know what I mean?
truly outraged. Barbie.
I didn't know that came out.
Barbie's been
Yeah, it came out in
around.
1980. Just electronic handheld games. Remember those? It just had the D-pad and then two buttons. Beep, 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 boom. You know what I mean? It was like, ah!
Julie in the chat says she had a She-Ra sleeping bag.
Oh shit!
Girl, I was
Yo,
all She-Ra, but I had all the bad girls
How
of
about
She-Ra.
how about color forms?
Like
Remember
I didn't
color
have
forms?
her, because I look like She-Ra. I look like
Color
Did they put them in the oven or
evil-
something?
That's
Oh
what
yeah, they were
Nemesis-
like you cut them out and you put them in the oven and they came out with just stickers.
Yeah,
It was-
I
it
remember
was
those.
stupid
Is that
as
the
shit.
one where also
They
like
shrunk.
that's Tricky Dink?
Oh yeah,
Shrinky
no,
dinks,
they were
yeah.
color forms. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess it was like
And
a
honestly,
version.
one of my biggest toys were baseball cards.
No shit.
Yeah, I love baseball.
We used to
cards.
play with baseball cards
What?
a lot.
Baseball. I have this written down about
It was a
baseball
game.
cards. Baseball cards was a thing, the hugest thing in the world that overnight became nothing.
Yeah,
That's
for
true.
real. Creepy crawlers.
Creepy crawlers.
Remember that one?
Super crawlers.
I never had it, but I remember the commercial. That came out in the 80s. What else? Oh, Legos. I played with Legos in the 80s.
I don't know. Someone
Easy,
saying mask.
motherfucker.
M-A-S-K.
Yeah, with the dots in the middle of it, right?
Oh, those guys.
Yeah.
Those little wrestlers.
And,
right?
yeah.
Oh yeah, those guys were the shit.
Easy bake oven.
Easy bake oven. My sister had one of those.
It's probably older than the 80s, but like.
No, yeah, people play with it. And then, like, the best one at the end was Game Boy.
Robotech?
88 or something.
Yeah, I mean that's really when
Honestly, my favorite toy was
video
probably
game
Disney.
systems like,
Muscle.
broke up.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Crypto
Muscle.
Steve, thanks in the chat.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
Muscle.
checking it
That's
out.
what I was
I
thinking.
gotta
about
look for muscle.
M
that a-
period U period. Yeah, spell it like that.
Um,
Shout out to Scuba Steve in the chat. Or
Oh.
Crypto Steve, I should say. Oh, sorry. Check him out on the Weekend Warriors on Amazon Prime.
huh.
It's probably the best show on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Don't take my word for it.
But just take my word.
What is
You don't remember
this?
these? Yeah, these.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know why you don't remember those? Because they were cheap.
Yeah, these things were cool though.
Awesome, yeah.
So how did you play with them?
You smash them together.
Or you set them up and you have a war.
I like that.
But honestly, like Star Wars.
I love how the
G.I. Joe
toys in the
figures,
80s,
those 3 3/4 action figures just blew my mind.
they would just show you action figures that did nothing.
You know what I
Like,
mean?
they didn't
whatever I wanted to play with them, you know?
Shout out to Adam Albert in the chat. Says he finally got to catch us live. That's cool.
But yeah.
I keep getting a fucking wedgie, bro.
And Wedgie's a super 80s.
It's a totally fucking old age thing.
So toys. Let me go into my list real quick.
Oh yeah. And then the best toy is obviously.
You go to your list and I'll try to look.
G.I. Joe, obviously. This was my favorite toy ever.
Yeah.
As you can see, I have a Cobra belt buckle. Like G.I. Joe was my favorite toy. Like the way they used to set up the G.I. Joes on the commercials, and it would look like they were like in a rainforest, and then these kids would go by. That shit was super fucking hard. Wrestlers, I said the WWF rubber. Yeah,
I had those ones though.
The WWF 8-inch rubber wrestlers. Like,
I remember that you could move their arms.
Pogo balls we talked about. Every time I think of the 80s, the first thing I think of it is a pogo ball. It looked like Saturn. You know what I'm saying? And you would stand on it and jump around. It's like a pogo stick, but a ball. The best toy as a kid, besides the one we're going to segue into, the best toy as a kid was fucking playing outside.
I was just say a bicycle. A bicycle.
I just thought of one.
Playing outside till the streetlights came on.
When I finally got my first bike, it was like freedom.
Play-Doh!
Oh, Play-Doh was the shit.
Ultimate imagination game.
Playing outside until the streetlights came on.
Play-Doh was the shit until you started eating it.
Playing outside until the streetlights came on. There's nothing more 80s than that.
My favorite birthday story from the 80s is my mom letting me play after it got dark.
Ooh.
And there was a surprise birthday party. And I was like, yo, she did that.
I remember parties. I remember like cookout and like family parties. It was like super late, and my mom was probably boozing. I didn't know it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you can stay up late. Us just running around the house like idiots, dude.
We got some more coming in the chat.
I didn't know what was going on. That was fun.
We got Masters of the Universe. Awesome. We all play with that. We got caboodles. I think I remember.
So a caboodle is basically a plastic toolkit.
Like a tackle box for makeup.
Yeah, that makeup, your toys.
Oh, okay.
Really, whatever you wanted to put in there.
Caboodle doodle?
You know what I'm saying? But that's pretty much the caboodle. And then the cool thing of the caboodle is that it would open up.
Yeah, I can see your digital.
We got another one in the chat. Breakout and Atari. We got Rock'em Sock'em Robots is a great one. Skip It is a great one.
Skip It. We had a toy like that in Puerto Rico, but it wasn't that forgiving. Like the Skip It was a circle you put your foot in, and then it was a hard plastic with a hard ball at the end. In Puerto Rico, that shit was on a rope.
Oh, right, yeah.
So it was going cray. I'm gonna show you the Skip It if you don't remember, but that was like
Skip It went around your ankle and then you just jumped over it.
Yeah.
Skip It.
Yeah, Skip It. That's what I said. It's right here.
1991 it says.
See, I know it.
It could be this one, but
I know it wasn't.
This is like high tech Skip It.
Yeah, it's close enough to me. So yeah, those are the best toys. As far as me, you guys had some awesome ones in the chat that I completely forgot about.
For real. The muscle ones, I forgot all about those.
Those muscle guys.
Oh, you know what I used to have too was the real Ghostbusters. Remember they came with the cartoons?
No, I don't remember the toy. A ball. The best answer in the fucking chat. My Art Smash. The best toy of the 80s was a ball.
A ball. Yeah. That's all you needed.
My best toy was my BMX bike.
Dude, all you needed was a ball.
He said a stick. He said a stick.
I used to sit against the wall and throw a ball against it and catch it and then throw back and then catch it.
Yeah, like honestly, think about how much time that you would spend outside compared to inside.
I'd walk down to the nearest school and just throw a ball.
So before we move on, I want to read. I don't know what we have going on here. Read it in the chat. We got Bionic 6. I don't remember that. Nathan removed his message. Dramatic says Stretch Armstrong. That's a good one. G.I. Joe. Machete says G.I. Joe. The Cobras were ill. Of course. This is the only tattoo of my entire life I ever considered getting.
He's gonna get it right here.
I remember Bionic 6.
Skip Sticks was a fun one. I guess. Genesis was dope. I don't know if that was 80s. Probably was.
Pickup Sticks.
Atari again coming through with another one. A stick was the best toy. Pillow people. Pillow people. Tonka trucks.
Tonka trucks were the shit.
All the Tonka trucks.
Crypto Steve said, "Machete, they had mad Cabbage Patch Kids." That was me. A stick could be a sword, a gun, a staff.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. A lightsaber.
So let's transition into the best toy that came out in the 80s.
Sitting right in front of us.
It's sitting right in front of us. The first person to mention it gets a free gift.
Oh.
Where's the gift?
I'm
gonna show 'em the
I'll
gift.
Be quiet. I'll be quiet.
If you're on YouTube, you're gonna see the gift. So here we go. Ow.
Come off the table.
So Joe made these custom. It's a lighter. It's a Zippo. But he put all these like crazy shit on there, like teeth and whatever. Let's see if it works.
I don't think.
Yeah, he's just seeing the comments.
Oh.
Boom.
There you go.
So yeah, first person to hit us in the comment to know what the best toy of the 80s was, we'll give you this thing. Don't matter where you comment.
No importa
Hurry up!
donde.
Hurry up! Hurry up! Who's gonna comment it? We gotta talk about it.
Let's see.
Who did it?
It was your mama.
That
It's not laser tag.
Nope.
That's a good one.
is a good one.
It is not laser
I
tag.
already gave a hint.
Think harder.
I gave a hint.
It's not G.I. Joe's.
We haven't said it yet.
Garbage Pail Kids kicked ass, but that's not it.
We haven't said it yet, and I gave a hint right when we first started talking about it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say it and keep the lighter for myself, I
Oh, come on.
think. Gotcha was a good one, but I don't know if that was 80s. It's hard for me to
What's
remember
Gotcha?
when
That was an 80s?
Michael Anderson, shout out to Michael Anderson in the chat. It's hard for me to know when these
Come
things came
on.
out. Back to the Future toys. Nope, I'm just gonna say it because I'm sick of waiting. Nintendo, the NES, the first Nintendo. That's the best toy that ever came out
Best
ever.
toy ever.
Like yes, the new systems are better or whatever. Blah blah blah.
Not as a
But
kid when we were kids.
This fucking changed the world. It made kids so fat. Nathan saying facts. My art in the chat says a good one. Little army men.
Yeah.
Those were good.
Like from
too.
Toy Story.
Those are dope. Yeah.
Zelda.
But nothing beats a Nintendo, though.
Nothing beats
The Nintendo. dude.
playing this fucking game.
This game is still fun.
Coming back to you.
Me and my sister used to play this fucking game
This game is
so
fun,
fucking
dude.
much, man. Both of them. This game I spent so much of my life going do 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 do.
And getting smashing controllers against walls because you jump,
real.
try to hit that last ledge.
No, that was just y'all. Because Tanya didn't have one, so she was playing it at somebody else's house. But I was really
Yeah, I
good
know how
at
to fix my
the shooting
controller,
game.
Oh shit, Chris Houston in the chat said Mike Tyson's Punch Out earlier. Let me tell you something funny about Mike Tyson's Punch Out. I got Nintendo for Christmas, like I think the second year it came out, maybe it was out for a year.
Came out
And my mom didn't really know what it was, you know what I'm saying? So she gave me Mike Tyson's Punch Out in my stocking,
Oh yeah.
you know, because she didn't really know, you know. So
Yeah.
instantly I knew I was getting Nintendo.
Boom.
And that was their big, that was their big gift for
That
both
was a
of
big
us.
gift.
And instantly I knew, oh, I don't care about this sweater. Fuck
Yeah,
these
yeah.
socks.
Where's that square
Where
box?
is that Nintendo?
Where's the square box? Can I get that square box on the back?
Nintendo, I mean, I spent so much. Oh my god, the Duck Hunt. I have the guns. They're downstairs, but I forgot to bring them up. But shout out to Hector in the chat.
I use those guns to stick people up.
Yes, the red gun thing. That's exactly what I'm
He
talking
does
about. Yeah, tell them about Nintendo.
Oh, we're going on Nintendo?
Go ahead, Joe. 'Cause if
Alright, well,
I can't speak on it.
I mean,
I didn't have money like that.
some of my favorite games were
But I
obviously Excite Bike. You remember Excite Bike?
Okay, yeah.
Excite Bike was the shit. Rad Racer was the shit.
Which one was Rad Racer?
It was a race car game. You were just in front of you. It was going like side
Was
to
it
side.
a square box almost like the wide
It was more like an Indy car.
okay.
That came out in '87. Excite Bike came out in '85 actually. Mega Man, but Mega Man 2. Mega Man 2 was my shit. I don't know why, but I liked Mega Man 2.
Okay,
Double
these
dribble.
are Mega Mans.
Double dribble.
Double dribbles and shit. Jordan versus Bird.
Double Dragon 2. Double Dragon 2 was shit. Remember that game?
This is for you, Julie.
Double Dragon 2. Wow, you said Mike Tyson Punch Up. Just the ice hockey game. Remember that game was
Ice
fun.
hockey, where you had the fat guy, the skinny guy, the
Yeah,
medium guy.
Yeah. Bubble Bobble. Remember that game?
This
Bubble
was
Bobble?
just
That game was shit.
my bad.
Grammarly can help.
She's
It
going
is
crazy.
grammatically correct.
The Power Glove I never had.
No,
I'm
never-
glad that we
We
learned
weren't that
that
rich.
works.
Ninja Gaiden. Remember that game? That game
Ninja
was
Gaiden.
dope, dude.
Oh, we got some coming in the chat here.
Super Mario Bros. Super Mario
Of
Bros. 2.
course, Super
And
Mario
obviously
Bros.
the best game of all time, Super Mario Bros. 3. I'm sorry, that game was dope.
Yeah, but that didn't come out in the 80s, did
Yeah,
it?
they
Double
came out in
Dragon,
1989, my friend.
Okay, it's
You are in
close
this
as
council,
well.
but we do not rank you the best.
Okay, so you think 3 was the best? That one you had the raccoon tail?
Yep.
That's the
Okay.
one I got to play a lot.
2
My
was
friend
fun
had it.
because you could pull things up and throw them, but it was fucking aggravating as shit. Because of like you just got hit like 3 was better.
I keep seeing people posting videos. This is so random. People keep posting videos of like, you don't smoke like me, and they'll show an ashtray and it has like
Castlevania.
it has 5 roaches in it. I'm gonna post this next time you guys post silly ass fucking pictures like that.
Don't give us a picture
Did you
of
ever
your
play
ash,
Castlevania?
your roach
I
ash
never
tray.
played it, but I knew it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember California games, little hacky sack?
Yeah, California games is
That
good.
game sucked.
We got some good ones coming through.
I don't know that one, sorry.
Ninja Turtle toys, Star Wars was a
I
good
said all
one.
that stuff, yeah.
This guy says
Lots of
Nintendo was
dolls.
ill because they had Meyer says Nintendo was ill because they had games off Japanese anime.
Yep.
Contra's coming in.
Contra
Oh,
was
Let
tough.
me think.
Yeah.
Mario Brothers #1. Not this fucking way. 1942. The airplane game.
Yep,
You just
yep.
fly
Oh,
over
yeah, and you just drop bombs.
and drop bombs on motherfuckers. That one
I
was
said
good.
Excite Bike, Rad Racer,
Excite Bike.
Fight back.
One of my favorite games ever. Rad Racer was good.
Mega Man 2, Double Dragon 2.
See, this is like your area.
Mega
I
Man
got
I never
some,
fucked with.
I
never
wasn't
fucked
really
with.
playing video
arcade
games
games,
in the
too.
80s.
Nathan
Street
says
Fighter.
Nathan says Double Dragon.
That's what I said. Alright.
No, I know. I'm listening to what they're saying.
Gotta let what are the people saying?
Shout out to Flash in the chat. Shout out to MBS. Double Dribble. I'm trying to tell people Dr. Mario, but I think that was 90s. Shout out to Marky in the chat.
What up, Mom?
Double Dribble was good. The graphic was. I mean,
I
it wasn't.
don't
It wasn't good.
remember.
You would hate to play it now,
Yeah, I don't remember it.
but it would. Every time you would do like a fancy move, the game would stop, and it would have this like cinematic fucking thing of you doing a layup every fucking time.
Don't remember.
I think there was like Jordan vs. Bird or Magic vs. Bird. I forget exactly what it was. I think it was Jordan though.
Yep.
Blades of Steel coming in. Commando.
Commando. Yes.
Damn, there's some good ones. 90s had the better ones, but the 80s just set up all this. What is happening now? This stupid fucking rectangle started it. All that shit.
Do you think blowing on it or tapping it ever really worked?
I think so.
I think so because it
I
worked.
think it was all mine thing.
I think it worked. I think it was really dust, like anything else. It collected dust.
I don't think it did nothing.
Frogger's coming in. That's a good
Oh,
one.
Frogger. What
I
was
had
that
that
from?
on
Who's
the
that
arcade
Frogger?
games.
This Hector said, I remember having to blow on the games to
Okay.
make them work.
Yeah.
Frogger was a shit. That
Do you
shit
remember having to
reputation.
smash the side of it to make it work? Or was that just me? Tecmo Bowl!
Okay.
There was a guy. There's a guy.
There's
When I was
the
a
guy.
kid, when I was a kid, my sister's 5 years older than me, and she had a friend who was 5 years older than me. And my sister wasn't home, and one day I'm just sitting at my house, and this kid shows up to my house, fucking teenage kid. And he's like, hi, Mr. Latch, can I borrow Tecmo Bowl? And my dad's like, what the fuck are you talking about? He had no idea what he was talking about. But I'll never forget that. This random guy coming over, trying, oh, that guy gotta save some pussy for the rest of it.
Dragon Slayer, Galaga.
Galaga I never played, but that was a good one. Actually, no, I did play Galaga.
That was an arcade game.
Yeah.
Dragon Slayer was an arcade game I used to play.
My art says, it says on the back of this, do not, oh, on the cartridge, I don't have the cartridge. Do I have the cartridge right here? Do not store in extreme temperatures. Do not immerse in water. Do not clean with benzene, thinner, alcohol, or
Maybe
other
that's
such
it.
solvents.
I've never read that.
Nobody's read that until just now.
Shinobi, what was it? The ninja game? That was good too. What one you got?
I already said mine.
See, I got a
didn't play
jet
video
though.
games.
I got Punch Out.
Atari. Let's go
I
back.
got Punch Out, and it didn't have Mike Tyson at the end.
Yeah, but
It had like
Mr. Dream.
Yeah, Mr. Fantastic. Yeah, Mr. Dream. Yeah, there was Mr. Fantastic.
But
It was the same exact game. It just there was a white guy at the end instead of Mike Tyson.
we're talking about Mike Tyson's Punch Out 30 something years later, and he only got 30 grand for that shit.
What is that equivalent to today?
Nothing.
Well, he should have went for the percentage points. What do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, he
But
made
then
him famous
again,
though.
didn't he get robbed with his money, like hardcore?
I'm not sure. It helped his legacy though. All right, cool. Where we going now? Video games. See you later. You're done.
Well, I think natural progression from games and toys and video games would be cartoons and TV shows. Because really in the 80s was the first time that marketing companies could market directly to kids. So that was really why it was like such a huge explosion of toys.
Most of my
and
toys
cartoons.
had cartoon shows.
And that was the gimmick.
They would come up with the toy and make the cartoon show to sell the toy.
They said that that's what happened with He-Man.
Yeah.
Masters of the Universe.
Transformers. All them things.
Cartoon came first, and then came the toys.
Yeah.
But lots of good TV shows, especially kid TV shows.
Yeah, I was saying to him, I started blasting off TV shows, and then I'm like, I watch nothing but cartoons.
I see.
You know what I mean?
I only have. I'm looking at my list. I only have like one cartoon.
I got for regular shows. I watch some of these shows, but I watch them later in life, like 21 Jump Street.
Yeah.
18. Maybe 18. Alf.
I thought we were doing cartoons.
You said TV shows.
Now, cartoons are TV shows, right? I mean, really, they're on TV. So,
Okay.
I mean, we can put it all together because you said you don't have a lot of cartoons.
I said I have no cartoons. I have all I wrote for cartoons was the obvious best one ever, The Simpsons, and then Saturday morning cartoons.
It sucked in the 80s, though.
The Simpsons?
Yeah.
It was on-
Nah, it didn't suck in the 80s. It sucks now, maybe, when you look back on it, but in the 80s it was incredible.
No, it sucked in the 80s. And it wasn't good until 1990.
I think a lot of the cartoons we already mentioned as toys, like G.I. Joe and Gem.
See, okay, that's a good example, because G.I. Joe I watched, but I didn't like that for a cartoon. I just wrote it down for my toys.
I used to love watching Woody Woodpecker
Yeah, I like the
and
Bugs
Tom and
Bunny,
Jerry.
the WB or whatever
Tom
it
and
was,
Jerry's my
cartoons.
ultimate favorite.
Tom and Jerry?
Tom and Jerry. Woody Woodpecker. Facts. Used to love Woody Woodpecker. The Pink Panther. That ninja was Sly.
That's a good one.
The Pink Panther was the smoothest cartoon.
Thundercats, Chili Willy in the chat.
Thundercats, ho! Silverhawks.
Shout out to Eric Sawyer in the chat.
Again, Mask. It was like they had the green motorcycle. I know because I had like all the toys. It was a green motorcycle that turned into a helicopter.
I didn't know that one. You know?
And they were like some kind of agents. They were, solving some kind of problem.
He-Man in the chat, Tiny Toons. I think that's more 90s, but that's a good one. You're a week late. Inhumanoids. That sounds familiar, but I don't remember. Voltron, I remember, but I didn't watch.
Bomb.
So yeah, I think 80s, the shows, there's just so many. I had to stop writing shows. Alf. Like, I had to stop writing down shows. 18, Joe said, right? You said 18? Full House started in the 80s. You laugh.
Full House.
You laugh, but it was 80s.
Family
Hated
Ties.
that show.
The whole TGIF.
Silver Spoons.
Silver Spoons I didn't have. What did you say? What was the
Well,
last one?
Carlton was on that show.
What was the last one you said?
Family Ties with Michael J. Fox.
Family Ties I think I had. Here, I'm just going to read mine and we'll compare what we have. I had the 18, Full House, Growing Pains. That was my shit. Cheers was my shit. Wonder Years. Dallas wasn't, I didn't watch it, but it was just one of the biggest events in television in the 80s.
I only wrote shit I watched.
Who's the Boss? Fraggle Rock. Saturday morning cartoons we talked about. Night Court.
Dude,
Cosby.
You can't just go Night Court and then keep going.
We talked about Night Court. Bull and all
Oh my God, Night Court was the bomb.
It was so original.
Dun, 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 dun.
A Different World, I said. MacGyver. Murder, She Wrote. The original murder porn. The Jetsons. And basically cable TV becoming a popular thing.
80s Three's Company, Alice's Diner. I watch all that shit. Like, those are the shows that were on like TV.
I know that diner.
Family Ties, the one that they just remade with the Cuban family.
One Day at a Time.
One Day at a Time.
What do you got?
Weren't the
TV
Jeffersons in
shows.
the 80s?
Hmm?
Weren't the Jeffersons in the 80s?
Probably still on, but I feel like it was
Yeah,
more
they
of a
probably
70s
started
show.
in the 70s.
Cosby.
Cosby, I got the
Knight Rider.
Doogie Howser.
Woo
Oh
woo.
my God.
Woo,
Different
woo.
Strokes.
Different Strokes. That was the one with the midget.
Golden Girls.
Little Girl.
Mind your manners. Mind your manners.
Golden Girls.
Golden Girls.
Golden Girls. Yeah.
Yes.
I think I had that. I don't know why I didn't say that one. Why did you say Golden Girls?
Greatest American Hero.
I don't know that.
Mm.
Head of the
What's
Class.
Greatest American Hero?
It was like an action hero show.
Magnum
It was only on
P.I.
for 2 years.
Tom Selleck.
Married with Children started in '87.
Oh,
Okay, I never watched that, but everyone talks about it.
Miami Vice, Roseanne.
Miami Vice was huge, and it was the fashion was huge.
Seinfeld started in '89.
Yeah.
Really? I didn't realize.
Webster. Wonder Years
Saved
Yeah.
by the Bell.
Winnie Cooper.
and Knight Rider.
Wonder Years. And
We
Saved
got-
by the Bell. Nobody said
Knight
that.
Rider's good. Saved by the Bell.
Boom, boom.
Actually, I saw that in the chat. I just have to go and catch up. We got Chili Willy. I remember that was a little penguin, right?
My name is Chili Willy. I'm frozen through and through. My head is hot and my feet are cold. Ah, eat a chew. And what about the crocodile along the river now?
Airwolf. I don't remember that one. Wonder Years. We
You
said.
remember Chili Willy?
Small Wonder. I don't remember that one.
No.
What was Small Wonder?
Small Wonder was about this girl, Vicky, who was a robot. She was AI, and she lived with the family.
It was a chick robot?
Yes.
I wonder what they were doing with it.
We got Star Trek. That's a good one I didn't think about.
Mr. Belvedere.
Mr. Belvedere. Yo MTV Raps. I was gonna say that was 90s, but I'm thinking it was 80s because I think they ended in like 93.
Yeah,
so.
because MTV started in like 1982.
Step by Step. I think you're stuck in the 90s, Mike.
Yeah.
Get out of the 90s, Mike.
Yeah.
You're stuck in the 90s.
Incredible Hulk is coming through. Let me check the other chats before we move on. But one thing I will say is I sent you a picture of a TV.
Oh yes.
One thing I will say is we all watched fucking television on this fucking thing. I sent it to her.
I know. I got it right here.
It's in here somewhere. Hold on a second.
The boob tube?
Look at this thing. We all had a TV like this with
And so
fucking
heavy too.
rabbit ears
And pliers.
and pliers.
Yeah.
And you had to get up to change the channel. Shout out to Flip
Damn,
Jackson.
that shit's big.
Shout out to
You
Michael
definitely
Anderson.
You definitely broke one or both of those knobs.
You had at least
Yeah,
two
you have to use
buttons.
pliers.
You had like 7 channels, and then the cable box came out.
Wait. Before the cable box, you had the antenna, like 3 dials, right? It had the U, which had like, you put it on U and then you had to turn the other dial.
What about you?
It was like doing the weather, right? You gotta be like, okay, wait, hold up. All right, put this one over here, and then you twist the buttons over here. And they used to be heavy. Gentlemen, yes, no?
I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
remember using tinfoil.
You don't remember those antennas?
Yeah, I do. I don't remember what you were saying. The last thing you were saying. Maybe I
Putting a big wad of
misunderstood.
You
tinfoil.
see how there's 2 buttons here? If you wanted to get to these extra channels after the U through 12,
Yeah.
you had to put it on U
Oh, okay.
and
I do
then
remember
turn
that. Yeah,
this
yeah,
yeah.
one
I remember that,
for the other channel.
Damn, you remember that shit?
Yeah, I remember that shit. I remember when the phone used to pick it up,
I mean, you
and
can
there used to be a circle, and you had to put your finger in it, and yet it had 0 through 9, and then a star, and then you had to go 1, you
You
hit
can
it to the
only,
1 and let it go.
Remember, you can only play video games on channel 3.
Yeah.
You had to be on channel 3. I remember we had our TVs hooked
May I have
up
a light, please?
at my grandparents' house. There was one in the basement where we would play the Nintendo, and if you turned it on channel 3 on the one upstairs, you could see it. Like, watch us playing it.
Split
No shit,
cable.
I
Yeah, it
didn't
was
know
the
that.
weirdest thing in the world.
But
You used to watch us play, like, getting angry playing
talking
Mario.
about TVs and like all those channels, that was the 80s was when
I didn't watch
cable
a lot of TV in the
started,
80s.
you know?
I watched Saturday morning cartoons because it
I
was
watch Mad TV.
Saturday morning, but I was outside as much as I could be.
I think we were latchkey kids, so
Hey.
that means you had the keys to your house but no adult supervision. So we would come home and then we'd have to do our homework,
Yeah, I was had to do my
and then we
homework.
wanted to go outside.
That's exactly what I
So
wanted
we didn't
to do.
turn the TV on until
Yeah.
my mom came home.
Yeah, see, the same thing. And once we finished dinner, we would watch like an hour of TV and then go to bed.
But my mom, our room was right to the living room,
Hmm.
and the door was a huge crack. So like
Hey,
the show she would watch at night, yeah, we
you
would
go
just
watch through the crisis.
look sideways, and then we could
I used
see
to
all
peek
the
my head around the
shows.
corner. Get caught. Oh shit.
I just want to be sleeping.
Yeah, here comes the
Why are you
bell.
asking me questions you know?
I'm gonna put you to sleep.
Yeah. But that's when cables really started,
Yeah.
like ESPN, HBO, networks like
We
that.
had cable, but it was like 8 channels.
I did
But
not
it
have
was like cable channels.
I grew up on PBS.
It was like the normal like 2 Fox, 5 PBS, and then we got like TBS, TNT, MTV, and then there was like one other one, and like that was our
What
cable.
about you guys? You guys have cable? I want to know. What are they saying?
I had cable.
I didn't get cable till the 90s.
Yeah, I had cable like a couple times.
Yeah.
I didn't, but I used
I
to
don't have cable now.
make it difficult for my mom to go to her friends' houses that I didn't like to go to, and I was very good at the friends that I liked. For instance, her one friend had cable, and we would always go over there and watch HBO and Fraggle Rock. because you couldn't watch Fire Rock unless you had HBO. And then like her other friend, their kids always had all the toys that you wanted to play with.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So if it was any of those of her friends, I'd be like, okay. Like I'll be sad. I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna behave. But if it was a friend I didn't like and I was bored, I was like, I better be playing outside or I'm misbehaving.
Yeah, I didn't watch a lot of TV. It wasn't until like the 90s we did the shows more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like junior high and high school.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
Or like if I didn't get it, my mom would be like, hey, it means this. You know what I mean? Oh, haha, it's a dick joke.
Okay, so I'm feeling Meyer
Shit.
Smash said The Love Boat for TV shows.
See, I feel like that.
Definitely.
Yeah,
The
I
Love
guess
Boat
so.
and Fantasy Island.
Was that the 80s? Was that the 70s?
I don't know. I'm thinking.
Where's our producer? We need to
I
fact
don't
check.
know. Let's.
Let's.
I'm right here. I'm
I'm
gonna
just kidding.
check. These slave drivers here. You see what happens when you're the only minority? Yeah, but what else? What else did you guys watch? What else?
Terrible.
Um.
Why would you watch that? Just like strangling your ears.
What was I looking up? Oh, The Love Boat. The Love Boat.
It may have continued into the 80s. So
Throw me your charger.
Exciting and new. I don't know why, but I'm telling you, I'm an 80s kid. I know all the songs.
Let's go. What's next?
Come aboard.
What are we transitioning into?
Hold on.
Hey, that's
Anything but movies.
We're
Go to music.
exciting you.
transgendering into.
No.
We could do I got what do I got? Sports.
I was
Sports
just
is
gonna
good.
say Sports. What was
Sports.
going on in sports in the 90s?
Sorry, y'all. Fixing the charger here.
Okay.
I'm gonna say The Love
In
Boat.
1980, right? Ali said, "I'm gonna fight one more time."
Mm.
That's what you get. Okay. Speaking of that, coming back, do you think Mike Tyson will be able to take a comeback, or will he be?
Oh, it depends on who he fights.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that video of him.
Ali was 38. What's he? He's like 50, right?
53.
But I tell you right now, take that 38-year-old Ali and take that 50-something-year-old Tyson. Tyson's gonna fuck him up, dude. I'm
Shout out to Alexa watching. Shout out to Ben.
Oh,
Shout out to
shit.
Red Blazer.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I don't remember it, but I remember watching that shit. The 80s Olympics were just like... So I didn't know about this. I knew a lot about the Winter Olympics because they were here, but the Summer Olympics, they were in Soviet Union. And like, I don't know, a lot of the countries boycotted it. They boycotted it because Russia invaded Afghanistan. And so like 65 countries, plus the U.S., they all boycotted going to the Summer Olympics.
What year was that? Let me
1980.
1980. I have
1980 exact.
So-
I have a
so-
game-used
yeah.
puck from that game.
Only no, I'm talking about the Summer Olympics.
Oh, Summer Olympics.
Only 80 countries played in the Summer Olympics, and like, which is crazy because it's usually a lot more. You know what I mean? But that was in the Soviet Union. But like then, the Winter Olympics was the same thing. 1980. It was here, Lake Placid, and that's with the Miracle on Ice when he was just talking about the puck. That was pretty crazy, dude.
Super. Look at all these news stories that came out.
So yeah, I was
Yeah.
just checking the
U.S. had no chance of beating the fucking. You know what I mean? It was like the last 4 seconds, and they scored a goal, and they beat Russia.
So yeah, that's what we were talking about. The Miracle on Ice,
Yeah.
1980 Olympics, Lake Placid.
Yeah.
I have one of the game-used pucks from that. If this is one of my oldest possessions. I don't even like hockey. I just
Yeah,
have always had this.
That's
Yeah.
American history right there.
What were we talking about? Sports. Mike Tyson dominated that
Yeah.
era
Wow.
of sports.
Well, when he was 20, he was the youngest heavyweight ever.
He has the fastest knockout ever.
20 years old, dude. You know what I was doing when I was 20? Trying to buy booze somewhere. This guy was knocking out grown men, becoming the heavyweight champion, dude. What the fuck? And like record time, like he said, dude. You know what I mean? Look at him as 18 in the Olympics.
He still
You know what I
holds the
mean?
fastest
Jesus
knockout.
Christ, dude. Like, holy shit. Imagine just like I remember when I was 18, I was a punk, dude. You know what I mean? Someone bumped me, I'd be like, yo, what the fuck's your problem, dude? Yo, you want to throw it down, dude? I didn't give a shit how big you were. Imagine I picked a fight with Mike Tyson at 18. What the hell was? Oh my god! I have no face right now. I'd be like my mouth would be where my chin is. My nose would be where my mouth is, and my eyes would be where my nose is. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, Mike Tyson hit me.
Yeah, as a kid, it was in the 90s, but as a kid, we got in a car accident together, and he hit his face in the car accident, and the doctor compared it to getting punched by Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
A fucking car accident.
Yeah. What else?
So hold on, I had Jordan. I don't really want to go too into Jordan because we did a whole
That's
episode.
what I was gonna say. The Magic Johnson versus Bird was bigger. You know what I mean? The whole Magic.
Yeah, I have that. I have photos. I sent her photos of all that.
Yeah.
I sent her Jordan photos, but the Jordan, I don't want to get too into it.
Nah, I don't
But he wasn't really Michael Jordan until the '90s.
Yeah, he did.
He was dope, but he wasn't like what you remember until the 1990s. He was still losing to 5'9" white guys who dribbled the ball up to their nipples.
Like a baby.
He was still losing to 5'9" white guys who dribbled the ball up to their nipples.
See, cause that's if you watch the documentary, he wasn't really working out. He was just playing. He was just playing basketball and training to play basketball. He didn't go to the gym. You know what I mean?
So I have that. You can laugh if you want, but you're talking sports. Hulk Hogan slamming Andre the Giant was the most important thing that ever happened in my childhood. Straight up.
Yeah.
When that happened, it was the craziest thing I had ever seen in my entire life. When he slammed fucking Andre the Giant. WrestleMania 2, maybe? I don't even remember what WrestleMania it was, but that was one of the crazy things. Another thing I had written down that you laugh at for sports is Richard Simmons. That motherfucker was everywhere, exercising on TV.
Yeah.
Like he it's not maybe not a sport, but it's physical activity. I'll say that. And then my last one we already talked about was baseball cards.
I had George Brett. George Brett was the shit in the '80s.
Yeah.
And Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson. Yeah.
Joe Montana was the shit in the '80s.
Yeah, we got Joe Montana up there too, right there on the far right. Yeah. We got the land of the Boz. Remember the Boz?
Yeah.
Bosworth. He thought he was gonna shut down Bo Jackson.
Doc Gooden.
Doc Gooden, okay, that's a good one.
Sugar Ray Leonard. He dominated the middleweight there.
Yeah, it's crazy how when you think about Muhammad Ali boxed in 1980 and Mike Tyson boxed in 1985.
Yeah, but Sugar Ray was dominating through and through.
They were only separated by a few years.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Who'd you say? What was the last one you said?
Sugar Ray.
Oh, Sugar Ray, yeah.
But
Ricky Henderson was amazing to me.
The whole Bird verse.
Yeah, Bird versus Magic. That's
Bo
Bo
Jackson.
Jackson.
The whole beginning of the '80s. You know what I mean?
This is Bo Jackson. She'll load the next. This right here, I think, is the greatest athlete that ever lived.
Yeah.
Ever lived in the world. It's a shame he didn't have a great career.
I know.
But you're talking about pure athleticism. I've never practiced, and I'm still showing up on Sunday and just crushing people.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. What are you looking for?
On the picture, I haven't seen.
I was looking for Bird versus right there. Bird and Magic. That was the '80s NBA right there.
Yeah.
This right here. My nephew. I was talking to my nephew yesterday about the NBA, and he goes, "When they used to wear underwear."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh my God, you're so right."
Yeah, I mean, this is
We
even
used to
long.
all wear 'em. That's the size of the shorts they sold.
Yeah, it wasn't until Michael Jordan really, and then the
you bought an extra large, and it was only the waist. It wasn't the length.
It wasn't until Michael Jordan really, and then the Fab Five kind of brought in the super baggy shorts in the '90s.
Yeah.
What's everyone saying here?
80s dress style. We already talked about that.
Yeah.
That Customato gym is 20 minutes from me. Adam Albert in the chat saying he lives 20 minutes from the Customato gym.
Oh shit. That's
I
sick.
don't know what that is.
The dark metal videos on late night MTV. I don't really remember those, but I bet they were crazy.
Yeah, it was
That
funny
thing as
because
well.
that's when they played them. Like
That
that's
thing as well.
when people would listen to that music.
We're gonna get into music. Music will be our last subject.
No, movies, right?
Oh, movies. Yeah, sorry. Movies will be our last subject. Music will be our second. You should text Sticky. I gave you his number. And give him all the Zoom information. All right, cool. What was sports, man?
Yeah, I know. That's why the Olympics were crazy though.
The Olympics were wild.
Yeah. But I remember that George Brett shit, like
when he was hurt.
No, when he came running out because he had a home run and they called him out. He was so fucking bullshit.
They actually went back on that the next day. The MLB.
Yeah, that's like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Does it matter anymore?
No, he was.
You know what I mean? He was bullshit.
He was fuming. I never.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Can you do that anymore? Or do they just like instantly throw you out? Like they didn't even throw him out right away.
No.
Like if he would have ran and sat back down after that, they would have been like, all right, you can keep playing.
Dude.
But it's like the whole team bench had to come get him, calm down. I just remember too, Bo Jackson snapping a baseball bat over his head, over his knee. And then trying to do it at home, going, what the fuck?
Hurting yourself?
Yeah. Dude, going to grab a stick and going, ah! You know what I mean? What the fuck, man? This guy's bringing a bat? That thing's tempered.
Shout out to all the new people joining the chat. Mike Anderson, what's up? Jose Colon, Tyler, Rose, Pete Spray says peace. I see y'all rocking around the MC in the back. We're talking all things 80s, so you know we're gonna get there. I don't know, sports. Sports in the fucking 90s. Ricky Henderson, I mean in the 80s, Ricky Henderson was my shit, like all through that whole decade. So like I'm gonna go to Ricky Henderson every time. But what you doing?
Doing something for this?
Oh,
You told me to.
I was just wondering. So make sure you watch Chef Tanya Nicole's cooking show, medical cannabis cooking show. It's called Medical Edibles. It's on YouTube. It's on this channel actually. Teach you how to make edibles at home real quick and easy. So yeah, I don't know, sports. You think good with sports?
That's all I had for sports. I just can't believe 20 years old this guy came the heavyweight too. Can you imagine if he didn't do drugs?
Imagine being 30, 31 years old and you've been fucking boxing professionally for 10 years and some fucking kid from Brownsville just comes and lays you out in 90 seconds.
Oh, fuck, dude.
What? That's terrible. Shout out to Blair Nation. Shout out to Pete in the chat. Pete from the street. Pete from the street.
I got important events, music, and then movies.
I'll go important events.
I got them dated.
What, in order?
From 80 to 89.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
You want me to blast them?
Blasted them.
That was before you was my crotch not in there. I just picked like a few like crazy events that happened. So in 80, Mount St. Helena erupted.
Okay, I don't have that one. That's a great one.
Yeah,
I don't have that one.
Yeah, that's great. John Lennon was killed in 1980.
John Lennon killed 1980. You heard it here first.
Richard Price set himself on fire at Freebase and Coke.
Damn,
1980?
1980?
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Can you imagine that? That's all I had from 80. 81, AIDS was recognized as a
I got
natural disease. The first IBM PC came out in 81.
First computer like for home use?
Yeah, the personal computer IBM.
Oh, personal computer.
Yeah, IBM.
So first computer, 1981. If you can't hear Joe.
Oh, sorry, Jesus. The Vietnam War Memorial came out in DC in 82.
Damn, I've been there. It's sad.
It's a dope memorial though.
And if you've ever been there, if you ever have a chance to go there,
it's
fucked up, man.
I think he said you get like the bumps when you go there.
I think more people died of corona now than died there though.
Holy shit.
We'll see what that corona wall is gonna look like. Shout out to Corey. Shout out to Tyler in the chat.
That was 82. Same thing in 82. 14-year-old Tony Hawk joins Bone Brigades.
What's Bone Brigade? I've heard of them. What is
It's a skateboard crew that like they basically like they didn't invent the vert, but that half pipe shit, like doing like the 360s in the air.
Yeah.
This kid was 14 doing that shit. Like all the other kids were like 25 and shit. You know what I mean? And I mean, when you think of skateboard, who do you think of? Tony motherfucking Hawk, dude. You know what I mean? Kid's 14, dude. 83 first cell phone.
83?
83 was the first cell phone.
You know what's crazy? When I was watching The Last Dance and Michael Jordan had a flip phone, like a small flip phone, like that you might see today, like Michael Jordan had in 1998. I knew cell phones existed, but it was just kind of crazy to see him have one so small.
Yeah, 83 was the first one.
This?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can take that. Same thing in 83, the U.S. Embassy in Beirut was bombed. You know, I don't remember it, but I remember seeing like photographs of it. 83 too, Thriller came out.
Thriller?
Thriller came out in 83. I know that's not the music, but just that's such a...
That's funny because
an iconic album. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? That like I had to bring it there. The first Mac computer came out in 84.
Really?
Yep, 84.
For home use?
Just the first Mac in general.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What are we doing? 85. Some guy, Bob something, I can't read my handwriting, but he discovered the Titanic in 85, the wreckage.
Damn.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, right? 85, the first Air Jordans, we talked about that. In 85, Howard Stern hit number one in WNBC, when they all like said, like they were like, this guy's rude as shit, he's having chicks have orgasms on a rate, but he hit number 1 when they didn't think he would.
That's crazy.
86, the Challenger exploded.
86. Yep, I have that on my list.
Yeah.
My sister teaches at the school that the school is named after the female astronaut, McAuliffe.
Yeah. What am I, 86? Oh, Chernobyl happened in 86 too. Like, that's a bad year, right? The Challenger and Chernobyl. Yeah. If you were born in 86, I feel bad for you. You know what I mean? 87, I told you this earlier. First person to get convicted with a crime and used by DNA was 87. And the first person to get off death row and be innocent. He was on death row being ready to get killed, and
It saved him?
DNA saved his life, the 87. The headbanger ball started in 87. I was just saying that.
I don't know what that is. Headbanger ball?
It was on MTV. It was a big ass rock show.
Oh, okay.
Like, it debuted a lot of first rockers. You know what I mean? 88. I got the date wrong earlier. CDs outsells records and tapes for the first time.
Okay.
88. Bush wins the presidency in 88. 89 was a crazy year too. The Exxon Valdez spill in 89. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
You remember that, Tanya?
Well, the one
Exxon
Valdez
Valdez.
spill, I think that was the first time that I ever, as a child, experienced like something environmental.
Yeah, you were just like, holy
Like,
fuck, they
learning
fucked
what
up,
that
dude.
was.
You knew it was fucked up too.
Yeah.
The Berlin Wall fell in 89.
Yeah.
What do I get? The internet.
I remember that was a huge thing, and that was
Yeah,
all
and, like,
over the TV and the news.
Yeah, and then
Huge.
like you can buy pieces of it online now. It's like shouldn't be that. The internet goes global in 89. Simpsons, like I said earlier, you said earlier, started in 89. The Central Park 5, that was in 89. I mean, a lot of us probably
It just
didn't know
got out.
about it back then, but we all know about it now.
Yeah.
Like, that shit was fucked.
That was in 89?
That was in 89. When they
Damn,
did
I don't know
Trash.
why. I thought that shit was in the
You
70s.
know what? I
or
just had a
And
brain
then,
fire, but you know what? Big sports news in the 80s? The Mets were huge.
Oh yeah,
That's the
Mets
last
were-
time they did good.
In
Sorry,
89.
No, the Mets were in the World Series. The Mets and the Yankees played in the. No, that wasn't.
Yeah. Then we had a Subway Series.
Yeah, Subway Series.
But I'm talking about they were good
Yeah,
for like
yeah.
a minute, like that decade at least, like
You could wear a Mets hat, probably.
yeah, you go back to where. Sorry.
In
Easy
89
sheet.
too, the student protest in China, Tiananmen Square, in front of the tanks.
Yes, I remember that too.
That was a crazy ass fucking. Alright, that's all I had for events.
For events, what did I? You said the Challenger. Did you say the Berlin Wall?
Yep.
Boy, yuppie culture.
Yuppie?
Yuppie culture.
Wall
Like
Street culture.
the rich white guys with the blonde hair and the Corvettes and the fucking
Yeah.
and the watches. That was all the 80s.
The
right
80s
there.
was
yeah.
a good,
Like
a
the
good
Donald Trump.
decade.
Donald
I
Trump.
see. I got that as my other stuff.
The Donald Trump. side.
Trump was famous. then, yeah.
Graffiti culture. Yes, graffiti existed before the 80s, but in the 80s it really
became
exploded.
huge.
Every subway car was covered in graffiti, and it wasn't like tags.
It was art.
It was like crazy pieces.
It was art.
I had that. The crack epidemic was the 80s. I had that. What was
I
that?
forgot about that.
Like crack.
See, I never did crack in the 80s.
Crack and a Long Island iced tea, and
Which-
you're all good.
Which led to the war on drugs.
Just say no. That's I forgot to put that on.
And then which led to Nancy Reagan's Just Say No.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
led to a lot of gun violence in the streets.
Which led to a lot of funny skits.
The crack. Everyone was making money.
Let's be real. Just say no skits.
This is your.
Why don't you load up some of the snacks that I sent you? I think we should go into snacks.
Oh, the
next.
food? Yeah, I don't have many food, but I got a couple.
I was a fat kid, but I
Oh,
was
she
so
doesn't have
skinny.
any events?
I just want to get it loaded up for when we get there. You know?
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, like the Challenger was big. I remember the Challenger. That
Yeah.
I remember that shit happened. That shit was sad.
Alright, I'm just gonna start with that first picture and
What
then
picture?
scroll.
Oh. Hit us up in the chat and let us know. We'll just
What
text the
events?
Sticky Fingaz, see if he has time to join us. If he does, you should share instantly that he's in here. Ask him some questions. Let your homies know he's in here. Make sure you're watching on YouTube if you're watching on Facebook. But if you're watching on Facebook, that's
all
fine.
the events?
We ain't hating. What is that?
That's all the events you get?
Those are all the events that I really
Tell you got? No,
what you got for events in the 80s, babe?
Nothing. I was living
Scandals,
life like
though.
it was golden. Ain't nothing bad was happening to me, but like the ones you said, like you said it,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
remember. But
Those are the ones I have to
Wasn't
look up.
there
I don't remember.
an attempt on the
Reagan?
Yeah, Reagan.
On Reagan actually got shot.
Oh, you know what I forgot about Reagan?
And,
He started the Star Wars program. Remember, it was like a space protection program. He called it Star
Really?
Wars program.
The
What a
original
fucking
Space
idiot,
Force.
dude. Yeah. What a moron.
Interesting.
Yeah, what a
And
big
wasn't there the bombing on the towers? Like,
That was in the 90s. That was in
I think
95.
Yeah, that's what I thought that was.
and what about the one at the Olympics? Was that the 90s or the 80s?
That was 90s too.
Yeah,
Okay,
we
see.
can talk about that in the 90s.
Yeah.
We talked about it.
Yeah, but yeah.
I think that's it. I don't know. I think I really enjoyed most of my childhood in terms of events.
I think AIDS is the craziest thing that come out of the 80s because people came off the sexual revolution and then were like, if you fuck, you might die.
Yeah.
After they were
Seriously,
fucking everything
Well,
that
and-
Well, at
and-
first
and
they
like,
just blamed it on gay people.
that's
They
what-
were like,
well,
it's
yeah, I was
only
about to
gay
say,
people, but
Well, gay
that wasn't
people
the
were
case.
coming out more in the 80s and like.
They were getting tested, is what it was.
Yeah, well, they were just more out there. People were accepting them. Not, obviously, not as much as they are now. You can't even say like the gays
Yeah.
and be
No,
like,
but also,
what do you
like,
mean gays?
The sexual revolution also brought in the sexual health education.
Yeah.
So I think like by the 80s, everyone was fucking in the
people,
70s.
People were sick of having
free
drip dick.
love, and then in the 80s, they were like, oh, I better make sure my dick don't fall off.
I'm sick of having drip dick.
Triptych.
I'm nobody, but I heard about it. I don't want to be nowhere near it.
Shout out to Scott Puis Santos. Hello, Weekend Warriors. What's up?
What up, Weekend Warriors?
We are here.
Check it on Amazon Prime if you haven't
So
already
let's
done so.
if you don't have no events, let's get into these snacks because some of these things made me so hungry. We just can't see up there.
Hungry.
I didn't get many snacks. I forgot about it.
We just can't see up there.
Excuse me.
Oh, my bad.
It's okay.
Oh, my favorite snack. I'll just bust it out right now. You might even have it, some Jello pudding pops.
No, we didn't have any.
Oh, Jello pudding pops. I know they're discontinued.
Shout out
I
to
know
Antonio.
I know they don't make them, but every time I go to a market basket, I look for them.
It
I'm
sucks
like,
that
please come back.
it sucks that they can't make a product because one of their spokesmen's raped
Oh
a bunch
man,
of people.
call him Gello, call him Bello, call him Fellow. I don't give a shit. Just make pudding pops, man. Market basket, make some funky ass generic ones for me, please.
It's not working, babe?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Holy shit, man. Do you know how to make
Here we
homemade
go.
ones? Well, let's make weed ones.
So I just have a bunch up here, but I sent her a bunch. You
Hey,
can start. You can start with the Smurf Berry Crunch.
Smurfberry Crunch.
What? You don't remember Smurf Berry Crunch?
No.
Oh man,
You forgot to say the Smurfs.
That looks bomb though.
hit us up in the chat if you remember this shit. 'cause That shit was so
bomb.
good.
I do not remember
I
that.
want.
But I also was that child that was not eating these kinds of cereal.
Me either. Not until I was older.
That's not WIC approved, okay?
well, no.
Like Honey Nut Cheerios. I don't even know if that was Honey Nut in the 80s.
That's not WIC approved.
I know I love me some Raisin Bran. I was that kid. I was like, that's before they coated the raisins with sugar, and it was just like bran and raisins. And I
Hey,
would
man, you were
let the
taking a shit quick though.
hey fiber. I needed that because you know I was eating a lot of veggies.
Sunk.
But
Yeah.
Sure. Give him time to come.
yeah, I was
Oh, okay.
definitely like
Yeah.
watching. I was definitely eating my Raisin Bran and like cold milk and just letting it soak for a little bit.
Yes,
you know?
I was never a big cereal guy. My biggest food, like I said, remember Squeezes?
Yes, I think I got squeezes up
were
there.
in the 80s.
It's weird how it goes away. We got to figure out why it goes away.
Where's it going?
We just got this today. This is just for you guys. This new computer right here.
Well, thank you.
Chef Tanya provided it for the podcast, so we could
This is
easily go through here. I don't know if I have squeezes. Can you make it? Can you?
Dunkaroos came out in '91, man.
All right.
Fruit roll-ups. Oh my God! Go back to the fruit roll-ups real quick.
Shark bites.
Who remembers this ad in every magazine? This
Yeah.
exact ad for fruit roll.
Listen, I don't remember that. I remember the television commercial. And I love fruit
Yeah,
roll-ups.
shit was
If we got
bomb,
fruit
man.
roll-ups, I was like, oh, mom got a bonus.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Those are like
I
the
did something
expensive
good.
snacks.
Did I get a B? Did I get a B on my math quiz or something? What's going on?
Be like, we got extra food stamp money.
That terrible Gatorade gum came out in '89. Remember that shit, the Gatorade gum?
No, I grew up on Tang and quick chocolate milk.
Gator gum?
Scott in the chat
Oh, the
says,
Ecto Coolers.
one time I puked out berry kick during a fire drill.
Ugh.
I never did that. But I did eat the shit out of all of these snacks. What's next? What's up on next? Some of them I didn't actually. Dunkaroos I didn't eat.
Yeah, those
Shark bites.
Shark bites were bomb. Yeah.
Shark bites? What? Oh, come on, man.
Just give me the regular gummy bears. I don't
Damn,
know
I want those
If
Give
you-
me the regular
hold on,
fishies.
sorry. If you're watching on Facebook, please go to YouTube and watch it because you're missing.
I'm on
You're
the
missing.
side.
I mean, you can hear us, but you're missing.
the pictures.
Yeah, you're missing all the stuff over here.
Shut up.
They're gonna call them in the fat. Daniel says they're gonna call them mellow pudding pops, laced with Bill's special cocktail.
Make sure.
I don't want them now.
What
Shout out to
happened
Daniel in the
here?
chat. What is that?
I said, what happened here?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Oh, who's that?
No one's here yet.
No one's here yet. It's all good.
Holy shit.
We're winging it. We're winging it.
Yeah,
It's okay.
see,
We'll get better.
I was
Shark bites.
I
I'm
mean,
gonna earn my production credit.
you saw the picture of me as a kid. I was a picky eater. I didn't eat a lot.
Yeah, we ate junk though.
Oh,
This is
that's my Saturday night right
Yeah.
there.
what I still live for Kool-Aid.
And cheese balls?
Oh, tropical punch.
The cheese balls.
The cheese balls, not the ones in the bag, the ones in the jar. We would take these to the beach with us in Puerto Rico. They were more compact. And
Ooh,
then
that was a good one.
you could put the lid on it so the sand wouldn't get into it.
What? For cheese balls?
Yeah, like we would take them to the beach in Puerto Rico instead of bringing a bag of chips, where you know how the sand
Yep.
gets in them because of the
Mhm.
wind. That
Yeah,
had
we
a
used to
lid.
We used to keep the container and do the same thing.
We're like, you know what I'm saying?
And I used to use it once it was done. I used it as a
Oh my
sandcastle
God.
maker.
This is definitely a childhood.
Oh! Tequila.
It's a push-up.
Shout out to Ant in the chat. DJ Steven, what's up?
Holy shit! Oh, push-up pops with a bomb. You remember them? Remember those? The wrestling ice cream.
Yeah, no, don't even talk about it because I got it coming up on one of these pictures. We can talk about it. Just find that
Oh.
picture.
Oh, there you
Go ahead. Yeah, talk about it.
I mean, you can only get. We only got them on ice cream trucks, right there. And you,
Let's move
and
it.
you got to cut the card out in the back. And I'd always ask the guy, dude, can I get a Hogan? Oh, you just grabbed me one. I just think this one. I'm like, come on, man. What the fuck, man?
Nobody wants fucking junkyard dog.
Oh, man, I got like 9 I got 9 of them. I used to be like, yo, I'll trade you 4 junkyard dogs for 1 Hogan. Come on, man. The guy's like, I don't want them. Well, then give me a
I
Hogan.
don't want it.
He's like, I don't have any.
I'll give you 9 Brooklyn Brawlers.
Yeah. Here's another Ultimate Warrior.
That's what was out there. Lex Luthor. That's the art.
Oh, man.
That also reminds
Those
me
were bomb, though. They actually tasted good. Well, maybe it was me as a kid.
Of the
I'd
ice
probably
cream?
eat one right now and be like, this is terrible.
the one that was like a rocket and it has the rainbow colors. It's like pink,
Oh, yeah,
or
yeah,
red, white,
Honestly,
and
freeze
blue.
pops.
It tastes like an Italian iced tea.
My favorite shit was freeze pops.
Well, my favorite thing was Mr.
Oh, like the ones that
Softy.
cut the sides of your mouth
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
turn them?
My friend just hit me up about some of those. You know what you do when you get them? Cut the top, pour some of it out, put a shot of booze in it, shake it up, and you flat iron it, throw it in the freezer. Freeze pop booze.
Is that
Right? That's good. When you go to the beach or something, you know what I mean? Eat a freeze pop, getting drunk. Woo! Please don't know. Please don't know.
They ain't got to know.
They ain't got
It
to
ain't
know.
illegal unless you get caught.
Use a few of the, a few of these. You know what I mean?
A few of these.
Gotta check the cameras. Keep going.
Gotta check the case.
What else you got on there?
Check the camera.
Mm.
Make sure.
I'm telling you.
Here, we want to be on camera.
If they came back out with these, I would chase down the ice cream man just to get one.
Or you could buy it at the grocery store.
They don't make them now. Did you see the ice cream I posted?
Yo, you heard it here first. WWE, bring back
The ice cream
the
pops.
ice
Yo,
cream pops. You
Yo,
can
Vince
make new
McMahon, I know
ones
you
if
watching.
want.
I know you're
But
watching,
watch this
Vince.
one. Someone out there, hashtag Vince McMahon.
He follows me. He's
You're the
watching
man.
this.
Like, this is money left. You're losing money right now.
God, they look delicious. I don't know if it's just me as a
Today's
kid.
not
man.
even summer, and it was hot as
Like,
heck.
it wasn't even a question when the ice cream man rolled up. I was like, yo, let me get a
All right, I'm
WWF
gonna
bar.
take this off.
Oh, I don't
screen
have
for a
any.
minute
I don't want
while I
anything.
get rid.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I just want, what the fuck, man?
DJ Twin wants to ask Indo Joe, what's his favorite comic book of the 80s?
Wow, that's a tough question. My favorite comic book run? It's probably Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man.
Spider-Man?
That was my go-to if I was going to the comic book shop. I was going to see a lot of the shit. I didn't follow the runs. I would grab something that looked dope because I like to redraw all the art as a kid. You know what I mean? So I would buy new comics and get into new characters a lot during the year. It wasn't until like the early '90s till I started like buying every issue. But if I had to pick one that I was. It was either that or Batman. You know, I can't front with the Detective Comics or the Dark Knight through the 80s. But my favorite.
I read comics, so I don't
See,
really.
if I had to pick one that I read now that I didn't read as a kid was the Wolverine one. It was a 4-issue. God, I can't remember who the artist was. I think it was Todd McFarlane, to be honest with you. It was a 4-issue Wolverine issue. It was dope. It was him on the cover with a cigar and the Blaze. I remember drawing every page of that comic over and over, dude. And then I think it was Frank Miller who did the Dark Knight run.
He does the
Sin City. Yeah, he did a Dark Knight run where like Batman was older and he was like gritty as fuck. He killed people and shit. Like that. If you're gonna read a graphic novel from the '80s, I would suggest like that one because that shit is gritty as fuck, dude. So there's some good shit though. I remember because my uncle was super into comics. I remember stealing his Heavy Metal. Remember Heavy Metal? They showed titties and shit. Oh my god. He wasn't home. I'd sneak into his room. Fucking, where's the Heavy Metal? Where's the Heavy Metal? They fucking find that shit and read it over, draw the titties over and shit. You know what I mean? That shit was fun as hell as a kid, dude.
So we're gonna have Sticky Fingaz call in about 5 minutes. That's pretty cool.
What any more comments?
Hold on, I'll read the comments. I'm trying to roll a joint here.
Yeah, so I didn't bring two comics in too much because you guys didn't.
Yeah, I
you know
didn't.
what I mean, I didn't even bother with it.
Oh.
But yeah, like the two. I can't remember the artist that did the Wolverine run. If someone knows it, say it. It was a 4 comic book run.
Right. Let's see if this will
And then
work.
the Dark
here.
Knight with Frank Miller.
He's calling right now.
I am. He's already on here. I'm gonna see if he can
See if
hear
he
us.
comments.
And then,
Oh, I see him right there.
all right. And now let's see if we
Adhesive
can hear him.
phalanges.
So we're just gonna try to see if we can hear you, bro.
Adhesive phalanges.
Yo.
Yo,
Oh shit.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you gotta put the headphones on. Everybody watching in the chat, all
I'm just gonna
platforms.
mute you for a second.
Everybody watching in the chat, all platforms. I'll help you out, man. I'll help you Facebook guys out because you're so nice. Got Sticky Fingaz up in the place.
Oh, we lost him. That sounds
I'm
terrible.
sure we'll be back.
He's getting his headphones.
He's gotta get his
That sounds
headphones
terrible.
on.
Oh, there you go.
I'm gonna mute this for now.
Boom. Make sure we're still in here.
All right. Here we have our guest of honor
You
tonight.
wanna segue into music then?
Yeah. All right. So just let us know. Just let us know when you can hear us. Don't pay attention to YouTube. Just pay attention to Zoom.
I don't pay attention to you too.
Nah, because there'll be a delay.
Oh, okay.
So we're waiting for you to call in. What happened?
No, he's here.
He's there. We're waiting for you to call in to talk about music because we figured the '80s was the era that inspired you the most. Obviously, that's when you came up. What do you say?
Run DMC.
Run DMC. Who else you got?
Big Daddy Kane.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Put your headphones on if you can, because there's an ill delay.
You gotta put your headphones on.
Man, you got a lot of shit in that room. God damn.
I put us on mute so there's no reverb. So
Oh,
you
there's
can hear on YouTube. But
hell yeah, we got everything.
How your manners, boy?
We tried to represent everything. But who inspired you the most from the '80s as a rapper? We'll say. I know who your favorite artist was, but as a rapper, who was that?
Who was my favorite artist?
Well, from what you told me, was Prince.
Prince.
That's what you told me.
Oh, fuck it. Prince is my favorite artist.
Okay.
I can't front. I used to listen to Prince.
I'm my favorite artist.
Who?
I don't think I have a favorite artist.
Who inspired you then?
Or someone from the 80s.
Like I told you, the thing I said. Big Daddy Kane, Rockman, Run DMC.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You know what I mean?
Did you listen to anything else growing up besides rap?
Yeah, listen to everything, yo. All the oldies but goodies, everything. Listen to everything.
Yeah, I don't
You know what I'm
really.
saying?
I only really listen to rap. That's kind of sucks for me, but.
I got a big list.
Yeah, man, you got Roy Rising.
Well, now I listen to more, but I'm saying when I was a kid, it was pretty much just rap and New Kids on the Block. Let me think here.
I have to go with
You kids on the what?
He grew up in Massachusetts, so.
No, I didn't. Not an 8.
Oh, that's true. So you have no excuse.
What was I gonna ask? I had it right here. You got something, Joe? While I look for this.
Yeah, I got plenty.
Go ahead.
I mean, Michael Jackson was huge. Janet Jackson was huge. Pawandi.
Did you listen to them?
Billy Joel. Billy Joel was dope.
I can't picture Sticky listening to Billy Joel.
Lionel Richie was dope though. Lionel Richie, David Bowie was dope. Cyndi Lauper. Ooh.
Cyndi Lauper.
Do you remember Cyndi Lauper?
Were you hold on. Keep it right there. Were you rapping in the 80s, or have you been writing yet?
I can't hear you. Like a robot. You said.
Were you rapping in the 80s? Like, were you writing?
Absolutely.
Really? And your name was Trop then?
Yeah.
Tropical?
Yeah. It was Trop.
Trop.
The show was tropical because I had all the flavor.
That's good, man. That's dope. Who else you got, Joe?
Yeah, man. I used to run around with deep low lights.
The
New York
D-Subs
City.
and Low
I used to go to school in Cybertron.
Shout out to the D-Subs. Shout out to the Low Lights.
Mr. Weston.
Shout out to Smith. That's what's up. What was your favorite fashion of the 80s?
Got Phil Coleman.
Let him hear it. What was it?
Fashion of the 80s?
Yeah.
I don't know. Polo. Probably low lights.
That's a good one. I can't. I couldn't afford that shit, or I didn't have nowhere to steal it from anyway.
Nah, you wasn't supposed to be. Man, you supposed to steal that shit, sir.
Yeah, exactly. What you got?
Yeah, why don't you use your white privilege?
Oh my god.
I stole a man polo, but only if you stole it.
What you got, Ben?
We didn't have to steal it though. People were playing music
Like,
off their
remix.
boombox in the hood. So like,
I'm
we
putting
didn't
you
have
on.
to.
Why you sound better? Cause I can't hear shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm telling you. Yeah.
Now I can hear.
There you go.
Thank you.
Whitney Houston. Whitney
Did
Houston.
you rap Whitney Houston?
I think
When she was saying to do that, you were saying not to?
What is that? I missed it. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear. Did you rock Whitney Houston? Were you fucking with that kind of music?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
What else do I got?
Everything. Now listen to everything. I don't discriminate. My music taste is not racist.
I think especially in the 80s, there was so much music out there,
Like
so
Phil
much
Collins.
variety to choose from.
Phil
That,
Collins was my shit.
like even growing
What's up,
up
Lisa?
in the Bronx, like I heard every
Yeah,
kind of
but you know
music.
your parents always play the old school joints.
The one that
Mhm.
DMX did. God, what the fuck? Can't think of the damn name. Holy shit.
Oh, I know you're talking.
And they were just getting off disco.
My parents played. My mom listened to like the Elvis style rap. Like
She
my,
probably listened to Queen.
rock. My dad listened to more soul, so I kind of heard both.
Fly me to the moon. In other words.
Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder.
Tina Turner.
Oh, Tina Turner. I told my mom I wanted to change my name
Of
to
course.
Tina. I'd be like, can I change my name to Tina?
The only police I like was the group.
See, all these names that you mentioned,
Right?
nobody now in these generations, no,
Yeah.
they're so deprived.
Yeah, for sure.
It's funny because
Billy Idol.
they're deprived, but they have access to everything.
Yeah.
Everything at their fingertips.
That's true.
Yeah. U2 was big in the 80s.
It's called the internet.
Push of a button.
Yeah, at a push of a button, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Look it up.
the internet makes the world smaller.
Yep,
It's like science.
for sure, dude.
Science is learning more and more about less and less.
Do you remember your first verse?
You better watch out. A tropical storm is coming.
Oh my god. I just got my new hook.
Tropical is here supposed to give a toast to the crew who gets much respect and a fat check. Move right along, get on your marks, get the go.
Dope.
He's thinking hard. I can see him too. He's thinking.
It's coming back though.
It
It's
is.
coming back.
It went something like that.
That's dope,
That's
man.
pretty good.
Thank you for doing that. That was so amazing that you just did that right there. You wanted to ask him about cassettes.
Oh, yeah.
You have one.
Yo, don't worry, you're going to get an invoice.
I can't front.
So a big thing in the 80s, you know, we take abuse of it now that music is so portable, but in the 80s was the Walkman. And with the Walkman came cassette tapes. So we got one right here.
The gold box.
You know, I mean,
Obviously, it's not the 80s.
This is definitely not an 80s, but for everyone out here in the world that has not seen a cassette tape ever in their life,
Oh, wow.
this is what it looks like. Okay.
A single.
The millennials are like, wow, what's that?
Yeah. So this is called
Is that an
a
iPod?
single, right? Because if it was an actual, like the
That's
whole
like
album,
cassettes
yeah,
and rotary telephones.
yes. If it was a whole album, it would be a clear case, and then you have
When
all the
TV,
songs.
when TV used to go off,
Yeah. Yeah.
And the TV weighed 300 pounds?
That's right, it would turn off at midnight.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Because there was no programming. Yeah.
And then you get that. This is a test from the emergency broadcast system. If this wasn't a test.
broadcast system.
Now, was the 80s when they came out with the "It's 10 o'clock, do you know where your kids are"? Was that in the 80s or was that the 90s? I'm not
I
sure.
don't remember.
That was good.
I'd be like, "I'm right here, Mom, I'm right here."
I was outside, so I never heard that. I ran away when I was 15.
Oh shit.
No shit.
Did you come back or you left and you grew up?
It never went back.
No shit.
Damn.
Did you have a plan or it was a last minute like, I'm
And when I
here?
did finally go back, when I didn't go back, I came back and I bought her house.
Oh shit.
Okay, that's a great way to come back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You can't be. What was your first concert? Later.
Yo, man, there's so many. I was there when KRS-One threw Kid Jordan off stage.
No shit. That
Story. That was a great story. Tell us about it. Like what happened?
Okay, rest of one.
Yeah, when I listen on the phone, everything sounds chopped up. When I listen through the headphones, it sounds good. But now,
refresh YouTube. It should be straight.
Refreshing.
That's what he just said. He's gonna refresh it.
every time I talk, I'm hearing myself faking. So I sound background crazy. Let me refresh this shit.
Technical difficulties.
See what happens.
You watching Sticky Fingaz?
You got ads on your YouTube, shit. There you go.
We got some people talking in the chat for you, Sticky, too. Back the Fuck Up is the first cassette I ever bought.
Where you see a chat at?
Well, we're on all social medias, and there's a chat